Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. The subject of the discourse today it's an action series on which we have been discussing from Dhammapada. But the topic proper is the similarity of cause and effect. There is a saying that yatha karmam tatha phalam. The way you act, in the same way you either enjoy or suffer in life. It's a very popularized kind of a philosophical teaching, and how this happened, that is, the way you act, your conduct, that is the cause. And all that is happening to you, your destiny, from the time you are born till you die, all the experiences of life, that constitutes destiny. That is the sum total of your good fortune, misfortune, and so on. So all that life provides in the form of good luck, good fortune, bad fortune, happiness, misery, all this that constitutes life is the effect of something, and that something is your action, karma. Now what exactly is action? Because our series is based on that life ultimately is what we design it to be. And we design life to be through our actions. Our actions, therefore, ultimately speaking, our actions create what we are. It is not somebody else who creates, or some other power, or anything extraneous, but it is just the way we act. And what is this karma? What is this act? Why do we engage in action helplessly? We can't help. From the time we get up in the morning till we retire, we are doing something. Either we are speaking, or we are acting, we are some deed, bodily action, or thinking, or planning, whatever it is, bodily or mental actions, or verbal actions. Now everything boils down to that. Life boils down to these threefold actions. And that is the creator of our destiny. This is the sum and substance of it. Now, I will give you, this is based on a story, based on an actual, a true story, an actual happening in the time of the Buddha. Now, Lord Buddha was staying at that time in Jetavana monastery, and you have heard about it, you know that. The way Jetavana was offered is a very wonderful story by itself. But that's not the subject today, so we will not go into it. But suffice it to say that Jetavana was a very, very lively center of spiritual sadhana, of spiritual pursuit in all kinds of ways. There were 12,500 monks. A large number of them were liberated, were all enlightened beings who had found the goal of life, the ultimate goal of life, to be liberated from all suffering, the suffering of worldly existence. So, and here the Buddha stayed for about 25 years, it is said, in two monasteries, one in Jetavana for about 19 years and the other in Puparama for about 6 years. So, now close to there, and this was all the time filled with people. From early morning people, devotees will flock from all parts of the country. They will come. They will flock to have a darshan of Bhagavan Buddha and his great enlightened disciples. And so in such a place, such a holy and very sacred place indeed for large, very countless people throughout the country. So quite not very far away from that, because Jetavana area basically is a forest area. It's in the vicinity of the city of Savatthi. And there all kinds of other people also made their livelihood. So Chunda, a person called Chunda, who was a pig butcher, he had his piggery over there. He had a very big pig pen where he reared a large number of little piglings which he will bring from all parts of the world. It is said, the description is very interesting, how he procured his victims. It seems during the summer season he would go, and he had a special cart, a big cart prepared with a very wide-bodied cart. He filled it up with all kinds of provisions from the city, which were not available in the countryside. So he will go to the various villages where people, this animal husbandry, people who reared animals and sold them, you see, for a living, and the farmers who also had all kinds of animals to be sold and so on. So people who sold the pigs, or rather the piglings, little piglings, it seems in that part of the world, you see, during the summer season, during the winter, the hogs produce their children, their piglings, a large number everywhere. So by the time it was summer, they would grow to a little pigling, they could be taken away, because there are too many of them in a given place. So he would go and he engaged himself in what is called barter trade. That is, he would, you see, offer them some provision like a particular type of rice, very popular rice or whatever, or dal and all kinds of provisions. And tinklings, you see, he will carry with him from the city. And in exchange, he will get these piglings very cheaply indeed. It is said one nali. Nali is a measuring sort of thing. One nali of rice he will get about a couple of piglings from people. And that is how he would fill up the whole wide-bodied cart and bring these piglings during the summer. So hundreds of them he will collect during the summer season. This is his method of getting raw material for his business, so to say. And then he will, how did he ply his business? How did he do his business? That is even more interesting. See, he was a butcher, that is a slaughterer of animals, and then selling the meat out of the slaughtered animal. That was his profession. And it seems from very early days he had been doing this. As a boy he was employed in a piggery, and that is how he picked up this trade. And he started his own particular piggery. And there he developed a special technique, a kind of special slaughtering engineering, if you might call it. He wanted every bit of the product with no loss whatsoever. And that can never happen in the world. See, loss and gain are part and parcel of the same process. They are two pairs of opposites. Where you gain, there you are bound to lose also. So wastage is a part of life. But he didn't accept that. So what he did, he would keep these piglings and in that big pen, feed them with human feces and all kinds of other dirt and filth. And he created a regular hell there. You see, it was a rotting rut. They were all bogged into that. And then he will get all this greenish, these leaves of all kinds from the forest areas and feed these piglings, and they quickly they will grow very fast. Fat little pigs. And then these fattened ones will be taken one by one, chosen by him, and then the victim will be tied on a post, a very strong post, a big post, and completely tied with it. It can't even move, that kind of thing. The description is very horrible. It's difficult to describe really. But then it's part of the job now to describe. So I have to do that very painfully. So he would, you see, tie it up, and then he had a big club, mudgara. He will keep on, you see, hitting that little creature, that big fattened pig, you see, with this club. Keep on beating all round. Now he didn't have a sense that it is a living creature. His desire for the product and making money and eat. It seems he not only sold, the first thing he did was to eat himself first. The product got in a very, very cruel manner indeed. He will punch and punch and punch and hit and hit, so that the muscle, his idea was to make the muscle swell. What a horrible thing to do. So he will make the pig fatter and fatter, it will swell because just by hitting. Then he will open up the mouth and put a little stick there, and so he can't close the mouth. Now he had a big pot of very hot water prepared beforehand. All the time is there. So he will now pour the hot water into the mouth and see that all the dirt inside the pig is, you see, flows out, you see, from the back. And very horrible way he will torture the animal, and the animal can't cry. It's almost dead, but it's not dead as yet. So that is how he will clean up all the inside thing. So it was systematic. He had a system of killing. Fatten, make the animal more fat by heating, then pour water and clean up the inside, all the dirt and everything out, until the clear water comes out. He will do that. Then he will, you see, pour the terrible hot water onto the body of this creature, and see, even the skin, black skin, everything will go out of that. It will be a raw kind of horrible muscular, that whole thing. Then he will singe it. Here with a grass torch, he will burn the whole thing up. And that means he is making a living creature, turning it into a roasted meat. And purposely, you see, deliberately, he did this. Day in, day out. Every day. Then, when he sees that it is all cleared up and everything, then he will have a big sword and cut it. And before cutting, he will put a little, you see, vessel, collect the blood. Then immediately he will you see, he was a terror in the family. So he would have, these operations went on early in the morning, say somewhere 3 o'clock, 3 a.m. in the morning he will start, and will go on till about 6, 7 o'clock when the sun rises. So he will have all this blood and all that place ready to be sold. Now by 7:30 people, all the vendors of meat, and his meat had a trademark, special trademark, so to say, and people sort of liked it. They never knew how it was prepared, that product was prepared. And they will gobble it up, they'll think it's a very special treat. Such is the blinded world. Just out of greed, rapacity for eating, gluttony, that is what it is, on both sides. So this killer, butcher, now will order his wife or his daughter or somebody, he says, come on, take this blood and take so much of flesh. He will cut and give that. Come on, prepare for me right away without wasting anything. I will come now. So he will have it cooked there. And then he will have some kind of dish, and with great relish, while all the others are watching in the family, this bhuta type of a human being, he gobbles it up. First thing in the morning. And he does it day in and out. Every operation, if you look at the way it's butchered and all that, the psychological state is frightening. He knows, you see, it is nothing but consciously, deliberately torturing that animal. You see, to get a certain type of tasty product, which he must enjoy first, before anybody else can do that. So he lived like this, day after day, month after month, year after year, for 55 years till he was an old man. So bhikkhus go out for pindapata in the morning, they would hear this terrible thing, sound of the animal crying and all that. Then one day they saw that for complete 7 days, it was, see, he used to have his operations in the morning, generally, unless he had more demand and he will do it in the daytime. But now during this day, particular, 7 days, 24 hours, the noise of the animal. Absolutely pitifully crying and terrible noise indeed. For miles, people all over there would hear that terrible noise. After 7 days, you see, this kind of exposure to horrible, cruel sound, these monks, some monks, you see, came to Lord Buddha and said, Bhagavan, today that you see, this Chunda fellow has been for 7 days killing thousands, probably, you don't know. And you see, his house is all locked up, is all, you see, nobody can enter there. It's all closed from inside, and he is doing this day and night. So he must be having some festival or what, we don't know, but this horrible thing is going on. This sound is terrible, very frightening. He says, look, monks, the facts are very different. It is not the pig sound that you are hearing, my dear. You are hearing the sound of Chunda himself. He has been suffering. He is overtaken by what is called Kamma Surakha. You see, Kamma Sadhya, something, a kind of experience, you see, of what is coming to him in future. He has got terrible, he is overcome by a certain disease, you see, where he literally he has become mad. Totally, he has lost his mind. And he has been going on four See, like an animal, like the pig, he has been going round and round inside that killing, that you see, piggery place where he used to kill. Actually, he has not been killing for 7 days. All that was happening was he himself was going round and making this terrible noise. His whole body, he says, oh, the fire, oh, fire, fire, fire. Just shouting, fire. My body is being roasted, roasted, roasted. My body is burning, burning. And cry just like the pig. Exactly like the pig. For 7 days, day and night he suffered. Then, on this final day, you see, just before he died and he was reborn in the lowest hell state, the hell world. You see, the lowest world, apaya, or the world of suffering, is known as hell in English, but we say naraka. Apaya, you see the naraka bhumi, he was at the very lowest, where he was being burned, where beings there are burnt completely all the time. They undergo this burning of hell. And there is description of hell is, my goodness, it's undescribable pain and suffering. Unmitigated suffering, you can't think of it. And all that hell suffering he was undergoing for 7 days and night. And he had developed a kind of power, strength, which all the members of the family could not handle. He simply, he went round everywhere and they closed the doors and everything, because they were afraid that he will go out and all that. So, he died in that miserable manner, the misery that he caused. So then the Buddha, after describing what has happened, the monks were so much, they really was very great, emotionally, tremendously moved. How karma, action, can be the lord of destiny. How one's own action here and now produces a kind of result that resembles the nature of the karma itself. So the similarity between action and its result is one of the most important aspects of spiritual knowledge or insight. How the result, the various results that karmas produce, how